Okay, good evening. I'd like to call to order the EAC committee meeting for January 10th, 2024. Everybody got a copy? I know John just sent out a copy with the invite to the minutes. Did anybody have any comments, changes, additions, subtractions from the minutes?
No.
Okay, good. If I could have a motion to approve the minutes.
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Thank you. I would like to, at this time, first of all, publicly recognize our past council liaison, Jack Casey, for his, his great work, both intellectually and physically, and what he's added to this committee and the support he's given to this committee. So I just want to recognize Jack's contributions to this. And along the same way, I want to welcome our new liaison, Nick Giorgetti. Very good. So Nick,
Welcome.
Well, I'm looking forward to it.
and then let me just give a quick, I know that you met us beforehand, but just a quick introduction. So I'm Jeff Petro. I'm the vice chair. Judy Bishop is the chair, and she's not here tonight. I joined this committee August of 2022, I believe. And I was brought on and interviewed for really bringing up the sustainability, our standard of gold standard of sustainability back again, which had expired. And so I'll report on that a little bit, but that's pretty much been my main influence since I've been here.
Ken Olshouse. I've been on the committee since it started, I guess, in 2016. My background is forestry and forest science and all that kind of stuff. And I've been the two tasks that I get to do, and I say get to do is work with the deer management for the township, and also with getting a trail built in Wall Park called Brant Trail. That's pretty much it for now.
Matt?
Hello, I'm Matt Hartman. I've been here since late 2021, early 2022. I don't remember the exact dates, but my background, the reason that, well, I wanted to join because environmental issues are very important to me. I spent a lot of time in STEM education and as an environmental educator. So a lot of the work that I've done has been related to community outreach with students and schools and things along those lines, working with some of the clubs and things like that at the high school. So, and advocating for the junior EAC member to join us as well. So, yeah, so that's it, and welcome.
Thank you.
Dawn?
Hi, I'm Dawn Miller, and I'm really not sure how long I've been on the EAC. I think this October makes my 3rd year. I think that's it. But I joined mainly because I was concerned about the flooding issues that we had on Pine Creek Road. I live on Pine Creek Road, on Pine Creek, the flooding on Pine Creek, not on the road so much, but more in the creek. That and also just wanting to work on the green spaces and things in the town. But currently I'm working on restoring the rain gardens that the town has in and around the Heritage Center and that parking lot. And I'm assisting with the litter cleanup. And I think that's about it for now. But excited to work with you. And I'm sorry I couldn't be there in person to meet you. Things just didn't work out tonight.
And we do have a student, a junior member.
Okay.
She couldn't join us tonight, but she supplies a monthly report. She brings to us intelligence from what they're thinking at the high school level, the school level. She assists us with social outreach through social, what's the word I'm looking for? Social
Media.
Thank you, social media. So she's been invaluable to this committee. So she's not here tonight. Next, we do allow space at this point for public comments, but there is nobody who's joined us this evening, so we'll move beyond that. Unless there is anybody who would like to make any Then we'll move on to project updates. The first one, sustainability, and I will speak to that. So we did, let me back up a little bit to give you a little background, Nick. We originally applied for and submitted in 2019 through Pennsylvania Sustainability, the township's response to their questionnaire at that point, and received a gold standard certification. That expired in 2022. They allowed us to move that forward until December 8th of 2023. So whenever I came on, I worked with John and worked with internally with the municipality to go through 181 different questions on a new site, a very comprehensive review of the municipality for sustainability purposes. And with that, we submitted our proposal about December 28th, I believe it was, or 27th, something like that. They came back with 18 points back to us to clarify documentation, to look at this differently, to give them more data. And John and I have since met, and we have eliminated one of those that we couldn't answer because of the way they questioned it. I took on a few. We've answered those. John's took on about 13 of those. Brian O'Malley has 2. So we're at the point where we think that we are very, very close at this point to going back with our final proposal through the website. At that point, then we'll be either certified gold or bronze. But I suspect because of the percentage that we've responded, the gold standard questions that we've responded to, I suspect that we will be re-registered or recertified as gold. And that's the expectation. Anything less than that would be a failure, but we think we'll be able to do that. So we're still working through that. So at this point, we are working to go over those 18 points, and then we'll resubmit our proposal.
Jeff, just a question, why do we want this certification?
The certification is, I think, through RFPs, and John, correct me where I go wrong, but through grants. A lot of times the question is asked about our sustainability certification. Is that correct?
Yes, that's increasingly becoming common.
And also
Thanks, good.
with the realtors and things like that, they can point at our community as, on a sustainability basis to make us more attractive than another community and things too.
Mm-hmm. There was a lot to be learned by going through this. It really was. Any other questions about sustainability? Okay, next is roadside cleanup, which is April 20th of this year. Dawn, if you want to say anything about that, and
Only that I have begun to put together the list. I know we talked last month about putting together a master list of possible organizations that might want to work with us to produce volunteers. So I've actually begun working on that. And I'm pretty happy so far with how many scout groups I've identified. I've got a couple churches in there. And I'm about to move on to some of the colleges in the area and things like that. So I should have a draft to everybody. As far as the churches go, I'm going for the low hanging fruit. So I'm going for Northway Christian and Orchard Hill, because they have massive, outreach with their youth groups and things like that. So certainly if anybody wants to recommend a church that they know might have some bandwidth for producing volunteers, be sure to let me know. But I'll circulate a draft here, hopefully within the next week, to everybody. And then that'll put us in a good position to start outreach for the spring cleanup. So I'm feeling hopeful about that list. And then, Jeff, did you happen to see the forward that John sent us from, was it Beryl Subaru, that they're interested in partnering with us? Now, we might not be doing an Earth Day celebration, so to speak, but maybe we can partner with them on the litter. Remember how you were wanting to do some sort of corporate sponsorship or something? I mean, this almost seems like the heavens have sent us what you asked for,
Unbelievable because.
right?
Yeah, absolutely. So just a little
So-
background on that. You know,
Yeah.
we have struggled to, we did have a year where we had over 100 people. And then we struggled since then to put together a real formidable group to go out on litter pickups. We even moved to the point where we were doing 4 times a year because we would be able to get 30 on this day and 30 on this day. And so, you know, it was the best that we could do. Now, you know, I'd like my vision is to make this one of the community days that we have. So we have Winterfest, we have Community Day, we have nights out, we have, you know, if I'm forgetting another one, but I'd like it to make it a community event.
Mhm.
And I think that because we missed 2 days last fall because of weather, you can now see the litter building up
Mhm.
on the roads. Before people would make the argument that it's a beautiful community. What are we doing? What are we picking up? I don't see a lot of litter. Well, that's changed. There's no doubt about it. Miss one time and you'll see, Matt, for example, Blazer Drive, which you and your family usually do. You know, that's gonna be 3 hours work. There's just a ton of stuff on there. So we missed one time. And the reason that this community doesn't see a lot of litter is because we consistently do this 2 to 4 times a year. And so what I wanted to do is I wanted to make it some type of community event. And we have a lot of celebrities that live in this and mostly Steelers. But I think we have Chris Hoke. I think we have TJ Watt. I think we have, you know, other people that live here that we're hoping that could maybe put a name behind this, make this a bit of an event. Or as Dawn has mentioned, I thought since I know the Shorkey family, maybe I could have the Shorkey family come and, you know, meet Jim Shorkey and hand out some swag. Well, this barrel thing is just lands right in our lap. They want to team up with us on Earth Day event. We can make this an Earth Day event, April 20th. And, you know, whatever that she has in mind, and we'll contact her. We can see if we can sort of couple that together and make that some type of advertisement, which John has already, I believe, have already done on the website for the date, but to sort of continue on advertising and making this thing more of an event as opposed to people just bending down and picking up litter.
So Jeff, do you want to contact the Barrel folks? Do you want to follow back up with them? Do you want me to do that?
I would like to do that. I was sort of waiting for
That'd be
Judy.
great. Okay,
And just, you know, she had any other thoughts. I didn't want to, you know, jump all over this, but, and I'll certainly include you in anything that we learn or any conversation that we have. But
sure.
yeah, I just wanted to touch base with Judy first and just make sure
Okay.
that I'm not jumping the gun on anything.
So that would be great. And then I think I still need to loop back to gosh, help me with our student liaison's name. It's escaping me at the moment. What's our liaison's name?
Archie,
The student
Archie,
EAC member.
Oh, yeah. Archie.
Archie, sorry.
Yeah.
So I still need to loop back to Archie to talk to her about doing some TikToks or some other social media advertising for the cleanup. But I am on it, and you know things are underway with the holidays. Didn't get a lot of momentum, but the volunteer list is underway, and I will be getting in touch with Archie. And I think that's pretty much all I have for the litter pickup.
And it seemed to me that her idea was to do something that she could put on TikTok and then just send to one person, share it to another person. And I mean, there's some real areas that, you know, she could
Yes.
highlight as, you know, needing attention. And I think we could do this before the April 20th date.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, having a student start to distribute it out is the only way we're going to get traction. This is what we've always needed, honestly. So, you know, I'm excited to see where this is going to go.
Could you look this into getting credits for National Honors Society?
Yes, they do get credit.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Now,
And actually, the Key Club has assisted us many years in the past. If not, well, we had to cancel, that's right, this last fall. But I think they were with us in the spring. For sure, they help out every year, though. And then we have the Impact Club from NA as well.
Interact.
Interact, sorry. Thank you.
Do you want, Don, do you want to add that group as well as the Clean Waterways group to your list, or do you want
Yes.
me to just send information out to them?
Well, I tell you, Matt, you can go ahead and contact them about the cleanups if you want. I am going to put them on the list just so they're on there for future, all kinds of events that we, are going to be having in the future. But if you want to contact them for this event, I won't stop you. That'd be great.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Yeah, absolutely.
appreciate it.
And I mean, I'll give more of an update on this when we get a little bit further down, as far as the communication is concerned, but there hasn't been much, in the past couple months. Jeff, I just wanted to ask real quick, when you're talking about making this a community day and making this an event, are you thinking of going further than having people come and we go out and we pick up the litter and then we all go home? Like, is there like a come back and there's food trucks and booths and things like that here? Like, are you thinking
I don't
big,
envision
or-
that. I don't think that works. I think it's a beforehand. It's a little bit of a raw beforehand, maybe have somebody come and that's, entices some additional people to sign up, but have something and then have, have a few people say some things, not a political event, but just have somebody representing the township say some things that would thank, the people for coming out and their care in their neighborhoods, and make them feel like they are adding to the value of the community, both, their homes and beautification of the community. And I think we just need to make this so people, people adopt streets. Like, we had a family who was signed up for in the fall that said, we want to do this street because we drive on it all the time. It would be great if they would adopt it. And that's a legacy for their children too. We will clean this up. It is a great way to build a legacy, of cleanliness in this community. And I just think that's something, if we could do this and make people say, this is something I do every year. This is just, yeah, when's the date? I'm going to do this every year.
I think that's great. I just was curious, like what scope you were thinking. Is there any? I'm not sure exactly what the answer is to this question, but is there something that we could give out, like a T-shirt or something along those lines that is dated in some way, so that if I come this year and I come next year and I come the year after that, I have my little collection of, here's my 2024, here's my 2025, here's my 2026 type of thing.
I tell you, Matt, we've given away stuff we've done T-shirts, we've done other types of giveaways. We always ended up feeling like, I don't know that it actually drew people. I'm sure people appreciated it. It always seemed very sort of secondary. People were there just to pick up the litter, and I don't know. I actually voted against T-shirts in recent years just because I myself have a gazillion T-shirts from a gazillion things, and it gets to be too much after a while. But we can certainly talk about bringing that stuff back if you guys.
I mean, I have no idea what the cost is, or what the, like how much work is that to make sure that everyone has the right size and all sorts of things like that. They may not be worth it. It's just
When you get the T-shirts and things, that's something that's very common with 5K races and other things. And that's a way that when sponsors give you money, that's way they get some advertising on the shirt, and that's how you pay them back for their donation. So that's another aspect to it. That we always would. I was a race director for a number of different races, and that was one of our things of advertising on the shirts for them donating the money to us so that we could do what we did, with that nonprofit.
Well, and it's free, not free, but it's advertising for us as well, right? So that
Yeah.
if I'm wearing that I cleaned up McCandless T-shirt 2 months afterwards, and somebody goes, "Oh, there's a litter cleanup," and you got to sign up and you got to do that. It spreads the word a little bit, possibly. I don't know. I mean, we could do a bright colored one, and then people wouldn't have to take vests. They could wear the shirt instead of the vest. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm asking these questions and I don't have answers for them, and I wouldn't even know how to go about answering those questions. So
Well, John probably has, I think John ordered them for us the last time we did them, and we did get bright yellow t-shirts. And I do recall that, as best I recall, there were only 1 or 2 sizes available. We just got, extra large and large or something like that. What we could maybe sort of gauge after we reach out to these various scout groups and community groups and youth groups and such, depending on what kind of response we get, we might be able to gauge more whether or not, if we're getting some of these groups, maybe we want to do t-shirts again, and we can worry more about getting some other sizes. But John, maybe can you speak on the cost or the effort it takes to get t-shirts done?
I mean, it's not a lot of effort at all. We can honestly probably use a similar design that we used last time. The cost for me is kind of a question mark, because the last time I did do it was spring 2020. And my printer since then has actually died. So he gave a good discount for that. So I'm not sure how the cost of materials are these days versus, what kind of quotes I'm gonna get. So it's kind of unpredictable. And as far as sizes, I did have like a standard range where it was mostly large and extra large, with a few mediums and 2X's thrown in.
I mean, would we want to see whenever, I don't know if it's going to be Jeff or Sever communicating with Beryl,
Yes.
they are interested
Yes.
in doing a sponsorship thing?
That's the answer, right? That's the answer, Matt. So it's either Beryl or Shorkey. And at that point, what I would suggest is that we get them to do wicking shirts as opposed to cotton shirts, because I
Well, that'd
think
be nice.
it doesn't matter what you have on a wicking shirt. Everybody's going to wear it. You're going to wear it for one reason or another. I think that's a better value for us. And I think people are more apt to wear that than a cotton shirt that, they got dirty or something like that. So, if somebody's going to sponsor us and they're going to pay for it, I would go for a better shirt.
For sure.
Yep.
I prefer the cotton shirts, but I understand your point.
And if we need to go with the cotton shirt route, I can help try to look into that, John, if you need me to, or something. I think I have 1 or 2 folks I could reach out to that maybe do that.
Don't limit it. When you're looking for donations, don't look at just the auto dealerships. The Giant Eagles, the Targets of the world actually have designed into their budgets
Yeah.
money to communities for different things. So don't be shy about asking them also.
Trish?
One thing, I have a connection with a t-shirt producer in Troy
Oh,
Hill.
good.
I can give her a call, see what she would charge on a 2-sided color, like a bright day glow kind of color. But I was going to suggest also, I know you mentioned you reached out to the scout troops, and typically they would be the older scouts, which would mean they're like 12 and up kind of thing. I wonder if like that month we can maybe even reach out to like the little scouts, the daisies, the brownies, the weeblos, the cubs, and
They're
say,
on the list
Yeah.
that I'm creating.
right,
Yes.
like I don't want those kids on the highway. I know I've done litter cleanup
Yes.
on Cumberland Road, and I would not bring a child with me. But even if they did like an awareness, like one of their projects during the month of April, they get a badge and they say, hey, we help clean up McCandless. And, for Earth, for
Mhm.
month of April, the whole Earth Day idea. And then, sometimes that reminds the parents then, okay, maybe we'll show up and do it kind of thing too. Like one of us. It's hard when you have little ones that small, but
No, we specifically have routes that we've designated that are good for small children. We've made notes. So when we do
Okay,
get
good.
participants that are willing, so yes, we will have the younger scout groups on our master list of potential volunteers. They were
Could
some
they
of the,
do it- I'm sorry to interrupt, but can they do that during their regular weekly meeting?
we can always make arrangements, if they're not, if they don't want to participate during the event itself, for sure, we could make arrangements to get them the supplies and allow them to go clean up an
Mhm.
area, get us
Right.
some pictures of it before and after, just so we could have it to help advertise. And I don't see why we couldn't accommodate that.
Yeah, because I'm thinking too, if we did that a couple weeks before, seeing little kids doing stuff like that is great social media.
Oh, yes, that's such a good point. Such a good point.
Like having like little kids with their little neon vests on with is really good juice on social media to get people.
Excellent. Let me make a note.
But don't forget, we need to, John would
Yeah,
tell
get
us what we
permission.
need in terms of waivers and,
Yes.
photos
yes.
and all that business.
All
Thank you.
good points.
Thanks, Trish. Okay, anything else on the litter? Okay, Brant Trail, Ken, anything to report?
With Brant Trail, I've been kind of AWOL, good other commitments. The last month or two, Jack and I haven't got together. I know he's put some grants together and some other things. There's also been some signage put on the trail so people can find their way along it and so we have a completed trail now. It makes it much easier for us to proceed to try to get some funding to expand and really take advantage of what we have in Wall Park. So I really don't have much more to add than that right now. I'm a little behind on what's going on.
Matt, seeing any boots hit that trail in your area?
I am told that neighbors of mine have seen people walking it from our houses, but I have not witnessed anybody. But I plan to. My daughter and I were going to go on it the other day, and then it wound up raining, and then it wound up this, and so we're waiting a little bit till it dries out.
I think it'll freeze up before it dries out.
Yeah, I agree with that. So it'll be, May.
Well, no, when it's frozen, you can walk right up through there. That makes it easy.
Oh, there you go. That's a good point. That's a good point.
That's all I have on Wall Park Trail.
Thanks, Ken. And Ken, back to you on deer management.
Deer management, suburban whitetail, everybody that's here got a handout. I guess I can try to PDF that. I'll get PDF it to Jeff and he can send it on. We're right about where we were last year as far as the harvest of whitetails. The December is always very low because rifle deer season starts right after Thanksgiving and goes for a couple of weeks. And it's mandated you have to wear blaze orange and at least 100 square inches of blaze orange. And so like in North Park and other places, the hunters are trying to go in quietly and get out quietly and not make a scene of things. And when they're wearing blaze orange, that doesn't work too well. So generally they don't do any hunting during that time period, just to keep there from being any public feedback. So there was only 2 harvested in December, but there really wasn't time to do anything. Hopefully they'll have a pickup in January. It's an ongoing thing. They've started to, Suburban Whitetail has started to put some information at the bottom of their report each month. And that's been one of the things that I've been trying to emphasize is public education about, deer management, and that when you have too many deer, that how it affects the whole ecosystem and so forth. Trying to get more landowners to allow us to harvest the deer on, the overpopulation of deer. So it looks like we're going to wrap up about the same place what we did last year. Hopefully we can start to get some more private properties involved and can start to increase things as we go on out. So we're getting off our training wheel, so to speak, and we'll be going, a little more knowing what we're doing, so to speak, as we go forward with some experience. So that's where we are for that.
Do you mind if I highlight a few things?
Mhm.
So since you guys can't see this, the number of hunters went from 18 last year up to 26 this year. The number of properties increased from 15 to 17. Now the deer taken is about the same number once January comes in, maybe a little bit more. But so you had 8 McCandless properties last year, but went down to 7 this year.
The one they had to take off because we didn't have it taken. There's something I can't really mention right now,
Okay.
why that one property was removed.
Okay, but then you had an increase in private properties from 7 to 10, so,
Correct.
yeah, yeah,
That's an ongoing thing of trying to encourage, because of the suburban whitetail hunters are insured. And so if it's a 1 acre parcel, their insurance premium is the same as if it's a 20 acre parcel. So we're trying to get the larger parcels of land owners to participate in the program, so that suburban can keep their expenses under control.
any other questions? Thanks, Ken, this is very helpful. At this point, we would have the student representative report from Archie, but she is ill, so we won't have that this evening. Next is community outreach. Matt, student outreach update, Clean Waters Club, Watersway Club.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's not a whole lot to report. I was traveling through part of December and then the holidays and things like that. So I have not been in touch with them since the end of November. I'll reach out to them before the next meeting, probably later tonight or later this week, about the cleanup on the 20th. One of their, the last communication I had from them was just asking for information about projects that we had coming up, which right now, the roadside cleanup is pretty much the only one that we would have that they would be a part of. But they also said that they are interested in doing outreach to younger kids. So what I'm going to suggest to them is that they try to put together whatever outreach they're going to be doing in the month of April to incorporate this roadside cleanup, litter cleanup, how litter affects our waterways, things along those lines, to tie all of that in together. And then hopefully they can also get word out to some of those younger kids. And, you know, I know that last year they did, at my daughter's school at McKnight, they did like they all went outside and cleaned up around the school, like just as during class on, I think it was either on Earth Day or around Earth Day. Hopefully that is something that will happen again this year. Maybe the other elementary schools will do that as well. I don't know if they do or not, but anyway, try to use that as kind of one of our conduits to get more information out. And then the Interact Club, I have not been in touch with again about since the end of November. They had used up all of the decal supplies that they had for the basins, the catch basins, and they said that they wanted to wait until spring to look to see if there was additional interest to get more. They didn't want any more right now because they knew they weren't going to be going, the kids weren't going to go out while it was winter, essentially, in the cold and the snow and things like that. So I'll be following up with them in the spring to find out if they want more of that and hopefully to get more of those drains labeled.
Thank you. Next is recycling outreach. And so at the end of the year, we sort of did an assessment of what we accomplished in 2023 and then looked at projects that were either completed or near completion. And then we decided to set an agenda for 2024. And one of the educational outreaches that we felt was missing was recycling. We had the last vice chair was heavily into recycling, doing McMail tips and doing educational information for the community, and we feel like we're missing that. So with sustainability finishing up, I'd like to move into the recycling, learn something about it, do McMail tips, try to bring it to forefront for either a speaker or through McMail and different things like that. So with that said, Archie also wanted to do something regarding recycling for school and for a project that she's working on. And so at this point, John, I'd like to officially ask if we can get make a contact with, what is it, PRC? The recycling center that we toured.
So Waste Management actually owns the center.
Okay.
Green Star is the name, but on Neville Island.
Okay, what's it called?
Green Star.
Okay. And can we reach out to them and see if we can, you know, if there's a time that they could have, some of us show up for a tour of the plant so we can be educated on recycling?
Yeah.
Okay.
When you have two different auto dealerships interested in donating things, one idea that I thought of is that glass recycling and things like that is one of the auto dealerships, like for Earth Day,
Mhm.
do like a glass recycling thing that gets them involved and gets something accomplished and everything too.
So make it part of like when you come down, bring your glass. This is an opportunity to bring your glass down on this day. You may not even know that we do this every day. It's open every day behind the thing, but this is an opportunity to bring it in and learn that we have this.
And get one of the auto dealerships to kind of push it out there to
Okay.
that public awareness stuff.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of quick things. One is when we were at Winterfest, I know it was mentioned that apparently there is work being done to try to get glass put back into our pickup, our normal pickup recycling. I don't know what the progress is on that, but I don't know how many other people heard that, so that's good news. The other thing that I want to point out, oh, sorry, Trish, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that has been brought up, and I think we may have 2 more years left on, maybe 1 more year left. Time's going by fast on the waste management contract, but that is definitely something that the council is trying to work back into our contract with Waste Management or whoever gets our contract next time. But Waste Management seems to be the ones that keep bidding the lowest.
The other thing I wanted to bring up was there's a lot of talk on the McCandless boards and Facebook groups and things like that, and I'm sure others have heard this as well, about the cardboard. And I know why it was taken away, and I understand what's going on. But the problem that I am noticing, and I haven't gone to see it myself, is that everyone is being directed to Franklin Park. And so we are essentially just hoisting our problem or foisting our problem onto Franklin Park with all of the extra cardboard. I don't know how big of a problem it is. I don't know if they're having the same issues that we were having, but it can't be good if everyone in McCandless who was throwing their cardboard there and doing the wrong things is now taking it to Franklin Park on top of all the stuff that Franklin Park has. So I just wanted to bring that up just so that people are aware. Like I said, I haven't had a chance to actually go over and look at it myself, but my assumption is it isn't pretty. So I don't know that there's a solution there, but I think that we should be aware of it, that our actions are influencing the municipalities around us as well. Not our actions, like yours and mine, but ours as a town.
The glass recycling is a bit of a double-edged sword because if you include it in the regular, and this is just a side note, it has nothing to do with the way this is going, but if you do that and it's broken glass, doesn't it cause a problem? I mean, I think you'll get more people to recycle, but I think we ruin the yield, I think, in a sense, by the glass breaking. I don't know what the trade-off is.
I mean, I don't know by the numbers either. My guess would be that the benefits would outweigh the drawbacks, but I don't know that for certain. I do know that a lot of the glass that goes into that container down at the town is definitely broken as well. So I don't know how that affects things.
Yeah.
But there's no doubt that, especially when that thing's empty and you dump glass into it, it just shatters immediately. I mean, there's no way to stop that. So I don't know. I mean, there was glass in our mixed recycling for years, decades. And I don't know if it was influencing in a negative way or not. My understanding was that the glass that they were getting out was it was too expensive to recycle. They weren't making any money off of it. They were losing money. And that was one of the reasons it got taken out. But again, that could be a misunderstanding as well. That could be a misconception.
Very, very few things actually make money in the recycling.
Yeah. So all the more important for us to be educated by committee. Okay, so on to February McMail tips. So a little bit of a conundrum here where if we were gold certified, it would be a perfect opportunity for me to do McMail tips. Did you know that your community is certified gold for sustainability? This is what sustainability is. You know, not some, you can't go into greenhouse gases, but you can certainly go into, you know, a couple of the simple things that discuss sustainability. And there's a good opportunity for that. It's just too soon. I can't do it yet. And then secondly, I'd like to do a McMail tip in March. John, when's McMail go out?
So the next one's gonna come out. I'd probably send it out February 2nd, honestly.
So then you're March 2nd and your April 2nd, something like that.
Yeah, March 1st, and then probably could be March 29th or April 5th, whichever
Okay,
seems better.
and so I'd like to do the April one on litter pickup. And make that a McMail tip, and you know, sort of get a raw story there once this thing develops. And then so I've got ideas for the next two, but I don't have an idea for this one. So I'm looking for you know, any ideas, any volunteer, something that we can do, something we can recycle.
A lot of years I've done in the middle of winter here that it's a time to be taking care of pruning your trees and things like that while they're dormant. You know, pruning apple trees and things like that.
Yeah, even roses and
Yeah.
yeah.
Do you have that to recycle that, John?
I think I have it somewhere in there. If you want to freshen it up, you can do that too, but pretty sure I do have the text.
Now's the time to prune it, Ken. Now's a good time to prune that old article. Make sure it's blooming fresh.
I missed this point.
He was Make it
John said you could freshen
fun.
up the article, and I said
Yeah.
prune the article.
Oh,
Yep.
Keep it. Now's the time.
or fertilize it a little bit and.
Okay, well then, why don't we, John, if you could find it,
Okay.
and you can send it out to the committee, and then we can come up with something and freshen it up, and this might be a time when we don't need to hit a home run, we just need to do something that's, you know, clear and concise. Thank you. Okay. Wait till John's done. John, the EAC open position update. I know that you advertise it.
So the deadline is gonna be the 12th, which is Friday, I think. Yeah. We have 3 applicants, and once the deadline hits, I'll probably reach out to you, Judy, Nick, Trish, just about getting interviews together, scheduling interviews.
Wonderful. 2 applicants, wonderful.
Yeah, it's unusually high, which is nice.
That's great news. That's great news. And to be clear, what are the positions that we have open right now?
Just have one open.
Just one open, and is it a 2-year, is it a 4-year?
Let me look it up.
Yeah.
It's a partial position. But I want to say it actually lasts a while. Just need the website to load.
Do the 3 applicants include the gentleman that reached out by email that you forwarded to us, John?
No, he was just interested in offering his expertise on solar.
Okay. Oh, okay.
This term expires in 2026, so. Still have a good amount of time.
Okay.
Their feet wet and see if they want to stay.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, thank you, John. And the lightning session proposal, Matt. which was accepted. Could you speak to that, please?
Sure. Yeah. So essentially, this EAC conference has this opportunity for these 3 to 5 minute sessions. So I don't even know if session is the right word, but it's a 3 to 5 minute presentation. They're asking for at least one slide for during that time. This is all done virtually, and we proposed just some kind of talking about some information with the what we did at Winterfest and how we're kind of working to get attention for the EAC when you're at a situation like that where it's small, or maybe it's a big situation. You've got a small table, a lot of other very fun things are going on around you. How do you bring attention to what's going on? So what we did for Winterfest, for those that aren't aware of it, is we put together a game show about recycling. We got people to come up and be contestants on the game show. They had paddles in their hand. One side was black, one side was blue. So black if the item that I mentioned goes in the trash, and blue if it goes in the recycling. Here in McCandless, just your municipal recycling. So they did that. They played. We gave them each 10. There was one true or false or 2 true or false questions during it as well. And then whoever got the most points was the winner. But we wound up giving out prizes to everybody. We kind of had some environmentally friendly prizes. We had some stuffed animals for kids, some environmental books that we gave out as well. So that's what I'm going to talk about. And like I said, it's 3 to 5 minutes. So I'll probably say exactly what I just said now, and I'll fill up the exact amount of time. No, it'd be more than that. But yeah, that's the general idea behind it. And yeah, I think it's great. I think it's great that we're getting our voice heard. I think a lot of the EACs are from Eastern Pennsylvania, so getting a voice in from Western Pennsylvania, I think, is great.
Okay, and then specifically, this is going to be held on February 24th. Matt will attend, and we can have up to 5 people attend. I want to attend as well, so I think that we'll go with the group rate, and I'm pretty sure Judy will too. So, Dawn, you did it last year, didn't you?
Yeah, I tell you, it's an all day thing. So I sort of attend sparingly because it's virtual, so you can dial into those sessions that you're most interested in. I would like to have the opportunity to dial in as well.
Good.
If we're going to do a group thing. If not, though, I'm happy to sit back this year and let others attend, because it is a great opportunity for good ideas, inspiration, and networking. So.
And our the session that I'll be doing is in the morning from I think it's 9 to 10:30 is like the time in which all of those presentations will occur. Those lightning sessions will happen. So it's that's around the time if folks want to particularly be in that. And if anybody else wants to be involved in that, like I said, it's 3 to 5 minutes, but we can certainly have more than just my voice going at it too. So if anybody else is interested in participating in that, please let me know, and we can work that out too.
Matt, I'll email you about that. I'm not so interested in actually speaking unless you want me to, but I wouldn't mind sending you just a couple bullet points about some of the kids' activities that we've done in the past. Yeah, I'll just send you that in an email.
That'd be super. Yeah. Trish.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
I was just wondering if this session, will it be recorded? Because that's the kind of thing that we'd love to share on our social media. If John could get a video of that or something
Yes,
like that to say, hey, look at where our EAC was recognized at the statewide conference. Just I'm always looking for the brag points to get us the word out.
Yeah,
They
I'm
do
not
video.
sure, but I'll find out.
They do.
I would just they do. Is it
Yes.
something that is recorded and then we can?
yes, then
Have-
they'll send us a link.
Okay,
And yeah. Mhm.
Good, awesome.
Thanks, Matt. Nick, at this point, we would ask for a report from town council. And since you're on the job 3 days, we'll assume it's not a very robust one. But we look for items that are discussed regarding the EAC, clearly. Anything that is happening, position changes, resignations or things
Okay.
that are happening and it would be public. And then, you know, any new business that you think would be related to the EAC. And if anybody has any other thoughts about that, I don't have a
Well-
lot of experience with that, so I don't know that I'm saying a good list or a bad list.
I was just gonna say, Nick, you don't have to feel compelled to give us a report. You know, there's often times when Jack said, you know, there really wasn't anything
Okay,
since the last meeting that, you know, affected us that he had to report on. Sometimes there was. So
Okay.
feel no pressure to prepare anything, you know.
good to know. Thank you.
Thanks, Dawn.
Hmm?
Perfect. Next is topics for next month's meeting. And my only thoughts of that is that I would like to, you know, based on what we decided would be priorities for this year, would maybe discuss the first speaker series or potential topic for a speaker that we could propose. And then, you know, how would we do that? How would we put that in motion? So if we want to speak to, you know, I don't know what the topics would be. We did solar in January last year. We did Get Solar on January 13th last year. I think we had 37 registrants, 3 RFPs, and 1 who was, you know, moved, you know, toward adopting this. I'm not sure where it stands at this point, but I don't know that we had other speaker series items throughout the year.
Not that I'm-
Yeah, I can't remember. So if we could maybe, you know, sort of, you know, capitulate around a topic that we want to push and discuss how we do that. And then second, I was thinking that if John, topic for next month's EAC meeting would be maybe setting a date for the recycling tour. Anybody have any other topics?
I may, because that'll be before that EAC conference thing. I will try to have what I plan to say done by that point, so that I can run it past everybody and folks can, you know, if they have stuff that they would want to add to it or say, we probably shouldn't talk about that. So I'd love to have a moment or two to kind of run that by everybody.
Sounds good.
That's perfect. Any other topics? Nothing else? Did we forget anything?
I don't think so.
Okay, so then with that, and Trish, thank you for joining us.
You're welcome.
Appreciate that. If I could have a motion to adjourn,
I'll motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
and that is it.
We should make sure there's a vote, just to say, you know, everyone in favor.
Oh, thank you, John.
Could be sick.
Okay, yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, there is he. I knew I'd forget something. All in favor? Aye.
Aye. Good job, Jeff.
All right.
See you guys.
We didn't blow anything up.
Nope.